First, a modern-day David and Goliath. Pretrial motions have begun in a lawsuit filed by the city of San Francisco against a company hired to settle disputes between consumers and major credit card companies. At issue, what many see as a completely unfair playing field that is favoring the plastic over the people. Here is our senior law and justice correspondent, Jim Avila, with the story. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Robin. You've heard of a no-win situation. When it comes to fighting your credit card company, that may be more than just a cliche. Buried in all that fine print most of us ignore is a little-known clause that makes it nearly impossible to beat a system critics say is rigged by credit card companies for credit card companies. Anastasia Komarova was new to this country and its ways of credit when bill collectors suddenly started to call her and her husband.
One time, one of them called me an idiot.
An idiot only because they had no clue what the collector was talking about. $11,000 in credit card debt, when as a recent immigrant from Russia, she had no plastic in her wallet at all.
I have never had a credit card with that company. In fact, when the credit card was issued, I haven't had any credit cards.
Turns out the credit card company had the wrong Anastasia, one who spelled her name with a Y.
This one is actually, I think, is just, they missed the letter.
But when the case went to arbitration, not court, private arbitration, none of that mattered. She lost because no matter how absurd the case, credit card companies rarely lose in the private hearings the small print in your contract insists upon. Hearings arranged by, guess who? The credit card companies.
They have such a success rate. A couple studies have been done that show that it's over 99 percentile, which is just astonishing.
That's right. California consumers lose 99% of the time in front of one of the nation's largest arbitration contractors. In fact, the city of San Francisco, where Anastasia lives, is suing the National Arbitration Forum, a firm essentially funded by the businesses they then judge. A company who over the last 5 years has never ruled against the credit card companies suing their customers. Not once.
The outrage is that a company is selling justice on the backs of some of our most economically vulnerable people.
A private system of justice, insiders say, is rigged to reward the business paying for it.
I was removed because I had ruled for a consumer in one case.
ABC News contacted a former judge for National Arbitration Forum, a Harvard law professor, who says she was forced to quit after ruling 19 times in favor of the credit card companies, but then had the independence to rule in favor of a customer once in her 20th and final case.
You have a system of purchased justice. It's completely different from our public justice system.
NAF tells ABC News its judges are neutral, that Professor Barthollet was not forced to resign, and the one-loss statistics kept by the state of California are manipulated and inaccurate. The company says that private arbitrators are just as fair as real judges, not the rubber stamps they are accused of being. It took Anastasia years to get her good name back, finally winning in court what she could not in private arbitration.
It could happen to anybody, and it can take over your entire life.
So what if it happens to you and you have a nasty dispute with your credit card company? First of all, do not go it alone. Hire an attorney who will try to get the dispute taken out of private arbitration and put into court. Number 2, keep accurate records of what you paid and when. And number 3, keep a log of phone calls between you and the credit card company so your attorney has something to work with.
But she didn't even have a card, and she lost.
Well, you know how they win many of their cases? They do not find the credit card holder. They send mail to the wrong address. And then they have the hearing without the credit card holder there at all. So how can you lose him in that case?
So it's not even just individuals anymore who aren't going to take it anymore. States are now saying enough is enough.
Right. In California, they actually force the credit card companies to keep these records, which show that they have not lost the case. And so there, in California,
Right.
the city attorney of San Francisco can use those numbers and can sue, and that's what he's doing.
Well, hopefully a story like this will just open some eyes and bring about some change.
It opened ours.
Yeah, it did. Some hurting folks out there. Jim, thanks so much. Time now for the weather again, and Sam.
Boy, that just makes you sick to your stomach. Let's get to some pictures in Washington this morning. I've completely forgotten what we're going to do after Jim's story. Let's show some pictures out of Washington. It's a